Go Get Her podcast. I'm so excited that you're here today. And guess what? We have a special guest, y'all. We have a special guest. Y'all know it gets real when we have a special guest. The conversation just goes in the way where God wants it to go. And I'm just so excited. But before we get started into this amazing conversation, if you're new here, please make sure you subscribe because you want to stay here for the vibes. Like, it's a good vibe here. It's a really good vibe. You learn, you get encouraged, you get inspired, and you pass it along to everybody else around you. But if you're not new here, hey girl, hey. And we actually have one of our girlies as our guest. She's a big supporter of the Go Get Her podcast. And I had the honor of being on her platform 2 weeks ago. So, I just had to return the favor and come let her shine her light here on the Go Get Her podcast. So, guys, I am going to welcome our special guest. She's going to talk to us a little bit about who she is, what she does, all the things. But guys, drum roll. We have Shannon Nia.
Hi, everybody. Hello, beautiful people. Oh my gosh. So honestly, like if you ever get to meet like your favorite person of a thing, like right now, it's just like I am such a huge supporter of London's podcast and then everything that she's doing, we go get her and like to be on this side, I'm like, okay, wait.
It's
Who am I? But I'm just so excited to be here. I'm just so excited for our conversation and just thank you for having me. This is like so awesome. Hello, everyone. As London said, my name is Shannon Nia. I am a mother. I'm a wife. I am an educator. I am a founder of a budding nonprofit entitled BASIC, which is an acronym. It stands for Beautifully Abnormal in Spite of Intense Criticism. And I am just a servant at my home church, but ultimately I'm a servant of God. I just love being with his daughters and I just love being able to spread his word and his message because these messages are not for me. I promise y'all. I don't have the eloquence. I don't have the razzmatazz to share messages in the way that that just come from me. I know that they truly come from him, and I'm just so thankful to be a vessel. So that's a little bit about me. Outside of that, outside of the titles, I am just a silly, fun-loving girl. I'm a nurturing girl. I love to love on people. I love to help people push like the things that they're passionate about. I'm just a huge encourager. That is one of my superpowers and it's something that I'm so thankful for. I didn't always see it as a superpower. And a lot of people led me to believe throughout life that it was a weakness to be so loving and encouraging. But we don't believe any of that anymore. So that's me in a nutshell. And I'm a foodie and I love to eat. I felt like I had to tell y'all that. I don't know why, but something was just like, tell them you like to eat, because maybe we could go catch a meal someday somewhere.
Yes, yes, I love that. Child, listen, we ain't even gonna talk about food because that's gonna be a whole nother.
All right.
But right now, we gonna get into some soul food,
Yeah.
okay?
Oh,
So if you're hungry,
come-
we here to feed
all
you.
right. All right. Because I'm about to just
Yeah.
London. Every time we speak, you make me want to run somewhere, and it ain't nowhere to run. Nowhere. Okay.
And we here to feed y'all, okay? We here to feed the soul because
Amen.
that's what's important. Empowerment is so important. We are so much stronger together.
Yes.
So much stronger together. So I like how we did that right there. We about to give them some soul food. We about to cook it up for them.
That was good.
But yes, guys, I'm so happy to have her here with us today. First of all, look at the beauty on the outside. She's so beautiful, but her heart, uh, Shannon, you are truly an amazing, amazing soul. Like you're a beautiful spirit, and out of you, truly. Like, you are a lover. You are a girl's girl. You love to help people. Like you said, you're an educator. Like, God just put so much in you, and I'm just happy to have you here to share it with us.
You.
We have to give each other our flowers.
I appreciate it so much.
Accept your flowers, queen, because you deserve them. But guys, today we are talking about something that a lot of us don't talk
Mm-hmm.
about. That storms do not last forever. I don't know
Woo.
about y'all, but I done been through some storms. Okay?
Okay.
Been through some storms. And I mean storms that I shouldn't have made it out of.
Mm-hmm.
God is so great.
Amen.
He's so great. And he puts us in storms not to hurt us, but to help us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always feel like that. You know, it doesn't always feel great. It never feels great, obviously, when you're in a storm. You're like, why me? God, why me? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, why me? But if God put you in it, God is going to get you out.
Amen.
That's one thing for sure.
That's a
And
fact.
even we put ourselves in situations where we shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm. And
we
he
should,
probably be sitting there like, did not ask you to do
like,
this. Did not need you
really?
to this place.
Really? Yeah.
But I'm still come get you. I'm gonna be sitting there for a little bit though, because I need you to learn. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
come get you out. Don't worry about it.
sit there for a little bit longer so you know, oh, I don't want to be back here again. I do not want to be back here again.
That's the
Like,
part.
he's so intentional, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Topic for today, we're talking about changing the mindset, of course, towards those storms because they're going to come. Life is not always blue and purple and pink skies. I would love it to be. But it's not always like that. You know, things happen, life happens, life be lifing, but God truly be Godin. So
Let's
that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm just going to dive right in. Now,
do it.
let's start from the beginning. Like, when did you build your relationship with God? Like, did you grow up in church? You know, did you start building that relationship as an adult? Like, talk to us about that.
Wow, this is a great question. So, when did it all begin? Well, I grew up in a household full of believers.
Mhm.
But not just any believers, some strong black mama believers. Okay, my mom and my grandma were always God Christ centered.
Mhm.
Um, they always taught me about having faith. I remember like I don't know why this memory just came to my head, but I remember being a little girl, like, and my grandma would always tell me, like, you can talk to God about anything, you can ask him for the things that you want. And I wanted to go to this sleepover so bad, y'all. Like, I wanted to go so bad. I was on my knees. I could see myself in my brain. Like, I think I had to be 7 years on my knees, like, God, if you just let me go to this sleepover, like, I'll do everything you want me to do. And it's so like it's so like funny, but that just shows you that I've always known that God is there and He's listening. You know, even in the small childlike things, right? But I also attended Catholic school literally pretty much my whole elementary life and my high school life. So I was in Catholic school and I grew up, learning scripture, learning very traditional style, religion based kind of things. But I feel like when I really came into a relationship with God for myself, I was a teenager. So my best friend, she used to go to a youth group to this in this church in Parkchester, and I cannot remember the name, but it was this youth group that she used to go to. And she would be like, "Oh, come with me, whatever." Like we could go together, and it was just so fun. And it was like the questions that the other kids would ask. Like it was a very open dialogue environment. It was just like, "Oh, you have questions about God. You have questions about scripture, you have like ask your questions," because I felt like a lot of my other environments were very much like don't ask no like
Right.
not my mom and my grandma, but more so in school it was just kind of like this is what it says, and like you don't ask questions to God and you don't ask God things, and I was like, oh God, like so this was a new environment for me to like be able to really explore like understanding deeper with God. And
Mhm.
I fully remember, I did my because in the Catholic Church, you have the 7 sacraments,
Yeah.
and I did baptism, I did confession, I did, there was something else I had to do, communion. But for some reason, I never went all the way to confirmation. Like there was just something stopping me every time. Like my grandma, my mom talked about it. Like, oh, we want you to do confirmation, and for some reason, I just could not do it. Like I was like, I cannot do this. So I went to a play at my friend's church. It was a I don't know what the play was for, but I remember that was the first time I ever like I want to say gave my life to Christ. Even though I had always been in church, even though I've always been around the Bible and reading and memorizing and all of the things, but it was something about the messaging in that play. When the pastor went up and asked if anyone wanted to dedicate their lives to Christ, I remember I was bawling, like bawling, crying. I was just like, I don't understand what like I was not bawling and crying in my Catholic church. I never had the overwhelming feeling of the spirit like that. And I was just like, what do I do? And my best friend was like, go up there, go up there. And I was like, okay. And I'm just like bawling, crying. Other people are going up there. And I remember like that was my first moment where my relationship with God went from traditional, I want to say like law based
Yeah.
into relationship. Like you can speak to me, you can spend time with me, you can ask me questions,
Wow.
you can explore life with me. And I remember after that, I used to do devotional time and I would have my quiet time. And although that changed and fluctuated throughout the years of what that looked like for me, but that was the first time that I was like, oh wow, like God is not just this ominous thing in the sky, right? That's just like follow these laws so you can come to heaven. It was like, no, he cares about the things I care about. He wants to hear from me. He wants my questions. He wants me before I go out into the world to ask questions to come to him.
Right.
And when I explained that to my mom, the things that I was feeling about why I didn't want to continue with certain things that I was seeing happening, she, at first she was kind of like, oh, but this is like what we do and blah, blah, blah. But then eventually she was like, okay, I get it. I understand. Like you're on your own faith journey. And I want you to explore God the way that he's revealing himself to you, you know? So that's where it all began. It's always been there. Faith has always been a great part of my family dynamic and culture. But that's when it really transitioned for me.
Wow, I love that. First of all, shout out to your best friend to bringing you to the youth group. Like,
Yes.
it's important that God sends these people and we let them plant the seeds, even if it
Yeah.
doesn't look like what we're used to. Because you said in this environment, school and like it's totally different. So you were
So
open to
different.
like, hey, listen, this is my best friend. She's saying it's cool. Let me try it.
Right.
And a seed was planted just
Yeah.
from you being obedient. You didn't even know you were being obedient. You were just like going down with your best friend, you know?
Right.
So that's just beautiful in itself. And then what really touched me just now is, your mom gave you a little bit of pushback, like,
Mhm.
things, but she
Mhm.
was open and God put it on her heart, like, this is what I'm doing with my daughter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
She is your daughter, but she is mine.
Mhm.
And how I'm revealing myself to her is going to be different from
It's
how
gonna
I'm
be
revealing
different.
myself to you. And
Yeah.
to that, and that's important because, of course, we never want to disappoint our parents.
Right.
So that,
And it was scary because I was like,
yeah,
oh no, she's mad. Like, but like, you know, I felt and now I could see in hindsight, like it was the Holy Spirit. It was my discernment of where God was taking me and the mindset that He needed me to have to do the things that He, later would want me to do.
yeah,
And at first I was just like, oh no. But I felt so strongly about it. And
right.
leading up to that point in life, there wasn't a lot of things that I felt strongly about, like that strongly about, but I was like, I cannot do this. Like I have to just stand firm in what I'm feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to piggyback off of what you said that faith has always been a strong thing in your family, from your mom, your grandma. So, what
Mhm.
does faith mean to you? Because faith can go so many different directions. But what does it mean to you to have faith?
Yeah. Like faith for me is really just believing in something that's beyond me, right? First and foremost, but knowing that I have a God who cares about me, knowing that when all else fails in this world, when all else fails, all the other methods, all the other things that I may try, that the one thing that's never changing for me is God and his love for me and his care for me and his showing up for me. And it's like, that always that concept of like, how can you believe so much in something that you do not see? Like, how can you? But it's like, okay, I may not see him in the way that you may imagine seeing God, right? But I see him every day. I
Yeah.
see him in little things like the other day, and this is again these childlike moments that I have, but I'm just like, okay, God, you show me you care about me. The
Hmm.
other day at work, I was like, I just want a donut. I was having a really hard day, and I was just like, I just want a donut. And for whatever reason that day, I couldn't leave during my lunch break, and I was just like, I just really want a donut. And literally, one of my coworkers came in my classroom
With a
and was
donut.
like, "Do you want a donut?" And I was like, "God." And I texted one of my friends, and I was like, God really cares about me and the little things and all the things. But like
Okay.
there's those small, those small moments, but then I have moments that are bigger moments, right? Like recently just came out of a huge challenging moment in life. Did not know where any of the resources were coming from for this thing. Did not know how it was gonna happen. Could not in my own human brain, like it was impossible. But God literally in the ninth hour, in the 11th hours, I should say, just showed up and everything that I needed for that moment, everything that my family needed for that moment just found itself to us.
Yeah.
And those are the moments from that small moment of wanting a donut to a big moment of getting resources for something that could have totally shifted my family dynamic. Like that's faith for me. To
Yeah.
even when I'm doubting, right? Because a lot of times I think when people try to explain faith, they're just like, it's an unshakable, unmovable. Yes. But sometimes we are shaken. Like
Yes.
sometimes I am doubtful and my husband can tell you, like, I will be like, oh God, I don't know, Jesus. And he's like, you can't say you believe in God and be out here crying and fearful. And I was like, I know, but I'm scared. Like, but even in the fear, like
Yeah.
my faith still rises above it. Like, okay, you're feeling fearful right now, and that's okay. This is a human emotion. But you know that you have a amazing, incredible God who you can lay all this down to. You
Yeah.
know that you can call out to him right now and he will hear you and come see about you in this moment. So that's faith is just knowing without a shadow of a doubt, even through all the array of emotions and all the feelings that my heart makes me feel. I know that this is a truth that I can stand on. It's a foundational truth that I can stand on. That there's a God who loves and is working on my behalf. So for me, that's what faith is. It's just holding onto that truth and that knowledge of knowing that He is the Father. He's in control, no matter what.
Is in control no
No
matter
matter what.
what. Oh my gosh. Coming from a person who loves to control
Oh
everything. Oh, girl, God
my
had
God, but like
for that. Because he's like, girl, you don't control a thing. Okay?
he
You think
listen,
you do, but you don't.
you don't
It's
control nothing. Like, yeah, your plans are cute. Like I in recent years I have let go of this trait. I'm
yeah.
still letting go of this trait, but I have always been like a super planner, right? Like I have a plan to my plan to my plan. And God be like, just imagine papers flying everywhere around me because He's just like, I don't care what
Right.
that little plan is cute.
Mhm.
That's not what I need for you to go through. That's not what I want you to do. That's not, you know. So He's in control, and if you think you're in control, He will quickly remind you.
He will humble you.
and it ain't you. So
That really humble you, and it hurts.
it hurts. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, you didn't have to talk to me like that.
You did not have to do me like that. Like,
You
ah,
shred up my plan in the
yeah,
shredder and then let it fall on me. Like you didn't have to know.
you did. You did not have to do that. Like, I know you're trying to be funny, but I don't think it's funny.
But it's not funny, and I don't want it.
You're so silly. But I really do. I love that. And I really felt that from the heart. Like, literally, like, just knowing he's not in control and just having that, it's like a gut feeling. Like, God, I'm
Yeah,
scared. I don't know. But I know you're going to pull through. Some
I
way,
know that
somehow,
you're
I
gonna.
know you're going to pull through
It
because
be in the. It be that small voice.
so many times
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you going to take care of it.
yeah,
Show me so many times that it is going to be okay.
yeah,
You show me so many times that you're going to get me out of this. You're going to get me through this.
yeah.
Know that you can get me through
And I'm
this.
just so thankful. Like even today, we were at church, and the message that our minister preached today, it was all about like your minds and winning battles in your minds and taking on the mind of Christ to combat all the things that happen up here, right? And while he was just preaching and teaching, I looked over at one of my friends and I was like, yo, how incredible is it that we serve a God who comes to see about us? Like I know that I've said that even earlier in this conversation, but it just boggles my mind. Like of all the children that you have roaming this earth, of all of the prayers going up to you, of all of the things that you oversee, like all of the things that you have dominion over, like you come to show up and see about me. You come and, and present and reveal yourself to me in new ways each time. Because
Yeah.
I'll be sitting here like, all right, this is how God shows up for me. This is what he's gonna do. And he'll be like, now I'm gonna come over here. Like, oh wait, like, but for him to even show up for me and I don't know why this raises up, but keeping it zesty, like he don't stay the same. He's like, oh, we're gonna switch it up and spice it up because you're changing and you're growing. So I need you to know that in all seasons, I still show up for you. It may not always look the same, the
Yeah.
language may not always be the same because as you mature in me, I have to switch it up on you. But he sees about us. And even what you just said about like, he's done it before. Like, what a privilege and a blessing it is to be able to have a Rolodex of the
What?
times God has showed up for you. What? Like
Rolodex?
a
How about
Rolodex
get him?
going through like all right, God, right now I'm scared and I'm nervous and I'm this, but I remember when I felt like this 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you showed up for me. I remember I felt like this yesterday. And
Yeah.
today you're showing up for me on something I felt yesterday. Like it's just it's incredible to have to love and to be loved and protected by a God like that. That shows up for you and proves himself over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing.
It's truly a blessing. It's truly a blessing. And that helps me go into the next question of when was a time when you were in a storm, where you were just like, ooh, I don't know. Like, was your faith tested? Did you feel like, I don't know how I'm going to make it out of this? Like, tell us about a time where you were in a storm and how did you get through it?
Whew, girl, there's so many testimonies rolling through my head. Like I just see them like do 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 do. But I think the one that I can land on to answer like all the parts of your question is last year. Last year this time, I was on maternity leave, right? Yeah, I was on maternity leave. I think I was just about to go back to work. I was on maternity leave. Um, and there was a lot happening for my family financially at this time. I think this was right around the time that I was initially planning to compete in a pageant. I was so excited about competing in this pageant. I was just like, oh my God, this is the time. I've been watching them for a while. Like, And like, yeah, I just had a baby and like I'm trying to figure that out. But like I just feel like it's time. I feel like God is calling me to it. All the things. All the things. I was like, this is it. And because of what my family was dealing with financially, I couldn't go through with it. Like I was just like, I can't. And I was battling with myself. It was really such a battle. And I just felt like, God was like, yes, I did tell you that this is a thing that I want you to do. But it was one of those things like, I'm gonna see what you do with this. 'Cause I'm giving you another message. Like I need to see what you're gonna do with that as well. So that was one of the pieces of the storm, right? Because I was like, oh, I don't want to like pull out and whatever. Um, so I was dealing with that. So huge financial storm happening with my family, trying to do different things, but also like, I'm postpartum and like now I'm trying to like what's my identity now? Because like I have my baby and I want to be there for her, but like, what is Shannon into now? Like it was just all of these different swirling emotions and things happening, and I just felt like all of the seemingly negative things that were happening were just so much louder than the positive things. And I remember one day I called my grandma, like I was just so down and out. And I don't have a lot of moments that I've felt like this, but I just felt hopeless. Like I felt so hopeless. And I was just like, Grandma, and I remember I was in the car crying to her and I was just like, Grandma, like I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to remain rooted in my faith. I'm trying to hang on to the promises that God has given me and my family. Like just saying all the things that I knew to say to like encourage myself and let the Holy Spirit work through me. But I just felt like I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to like do to get out of this situation. And I remember like while I'm just going through this list of things, she stopped me and was like, I want to stop you right there. She was like, I know that you have more to say, and I want to hear what you have to say because I want you to express yourself, but don't you ever lose hope. And she spoke to me in a tone that I haven't heard my grandma speak to me since I was like a child. Like, it was very authoritative and it was very much like God was speaking through her. She said, don't you ever, I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care what your bank account look like. I don't care what the opposition looks like. I don't care who is saying what to you. I don't care who's trying to threaten you. Don't you ever lose hope. So don't you ever lose your faith. Like it was, and it just like smacked me across the face. Like it was just between the tone, the messaging, and what she was saying. I was just like, okay,
It's like
hold
she's
on,
pissing you
hold on.
out. Pissing you out.
Yeah, like I was just like, I am getting to a point that I'm verbally saying that I feel hopeless, and that was like that right there should have been a red flag for me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, even though I have all these things going on, even though I have all of these worries, even though I have all of these things happening that could, you know, could really take anybody out of their positivity or their grounded state. Um, I know the God that I serve, and like you said, I know that He's seen me through before, you know, and I know for me, um, when it comes to financial hardships, I think those rock me the most because I came from a family who consistently dealt with financial hardship. So for me, it goes back to childhood and wanting to be able to combat that. Like, oh, I don't want to be the next generation that is like having
right,
these struggles and like continuing this struggle cycle. And not to like say anything against my family, but just knowing that I don't want to continue down that path. So when things like that come to my family, it just hits me harder, and I feel like it's a way that the enemy gets me hemmed up.
yeah,
Because I'll be so transparent, so honest, and so like give insight into my mind. Like I think for me, a lot of my battles, a lot the way that the enemy, and I feel like it's for a lot of people, but
yeah.
the way that he gets me is in my mind. It is in my mind, and like I'm constantly battling those inner thoughts. Like during that time, I just heard so clear, like like someone put headphones on my ear, and I just heard like, "You're always gonna be broke. Your family's gonna struggle. Your family's gonna get evicted. Your family's not gonna make it. Like," and it was
Oh,
loud. It was so loud, and it was just like oh, you remember when you couldn't afford to do this when you was a little girl, like now you're gonna go through it again. It was so many lies, 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 lies happening in my head at that time. And that's why I got to the point of just like I feel hopeless. And even hearing those inner thoughts going on, it triggered something else in me because a lot of people in my family suffer from mental illness disorders.
Mm,
And that was another thing, like, oh, like it's coming out for you too. And I was just like,
yeah.
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Um, so that last year during that time when I got to that point that I was just like, I feel hopeless. Like I feel scared. I feel like these things that I've been trying to run from and fight against and work so hard not to fall into, it's just it's crumbling. It's falling apart. And I'm falling into what I'm trying to run from, right? But just standing on faith and having community, right? Because my grandma, thank God, like guys, that she said what she said to me on that day that she said it. And I also thank God for even allowing what I was feeling to come out of my mouth.
Right.
Because a lot of times when I feel things like that, because I'm an encourager, because I'm an exhorter, because that's one of my like spiritual gifts,
Yeah.
I don't like to say those negative things.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm just like, oh no, this is not a part of my makeup. This is not what we do. But I was so thankful that I was even able to express that to her so she can meet me with God and be like, the devil think you're his playground right now. No, we're coming against it. We not accepting that. Don't you ever lose your faith. So that was a hard moment, a storm for me. That I was just like, God, I don't know how. Like, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I know you have to do it. I can't do it. I cannot do
Yeah.
it. And I don't want to do it, right? And that was a time where I had to fully re-surrender myself to him. And as a Christian on this walk, we have so many moments of surrender because a lot of times we will think that we are sold out for Christ
Mhm.
and things will come up. Like I said, for me, when those financial storms come up for me, I'm like, oh God, like, I forget all about my armor. I forget all my shield. I forget all about my word, child. I just being honest, like I forget it. And I need those reminders and I need like I just be like, God, I just need you to do what you can do. But not to say it in a way like, oh, every time I just come against a hardship like that, I'm just like, oh, God will get me out. Like, like, no, I'm trying to learn. Like my prayer points went from like, God, I just need this amount of money, or I just need this thing, or I just need this, to like, all right, God, download the strategy into me. Help me understand how to steward my finances better. Help me understand how to steward my things better. Like not just financial things, my family. Like help me to steward the things that I've prayed for in the past that you've given to me that now I have to upkeep. Because that's another thing. We always talk about the prayers for the things,
Yeah.
but we need to start praying about how to maintain those things.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I know a word from my family that we've gotten, my husband individually, me individually, as a collective, is the things that God has implanted in us are gonna bring us an abundant life.
Mhm.
And I receive, I'll be like, oh yes. But like, but then after the feel good moment of like, oh, abundance, I'd be like, okay, Jesus, but how are we gonna maintain this thing? Download the strategy into me, download the strategy into my husband, help my daughter get it from now. Like help so we could break this generational cycle
Yes.
and we could be on a different path. That doesn't mean all of our issues are gonna go away, right? Because new things arise when you get to new levels, things that you never even thought about. Like, oh, wait a minute, I never even saw this coming. But that's the prayer that those are the prayer points that I started to have. Give me the strategy. Help connect me to people who may be even going through these things, who have come out of it, who could pour into us. I know even my bestie, her husband is a financial advisor, and she'd be like, he's waiting for you whenever y'all ready. Like, just come in. And I'd be like, oh God. But consistently, she's always like, whenever y'all are ready, and we even have like our community at church, our friends. like our leaders who we have been able to have open and transparent conversations with, and they'll be like, "Me too. I'm dealing with that too," or "I've been there too, and this is what I did. This is my strategy. It may not work for you, but this is what God revealed to me." You
Yeah.
know, that those are the things that help see me through, like having that community, having that faith, and being open and transparent. Because I don't, okay, I'm not gonna say that because I was about to say I don't like asking for help, but I'm coming out of that because God has shown me time and time again how He puts people in our community. He puts us in environments so that we can get the help that we need, but we have to open our mouths and ask for the help.
Yep. Yep.
We have to open our mouths and ask for it. So
Close my
that
mouth
was,
and say.
yeah, that's one of the storms that I've gone through that are connected. Like I said, it's connected to a lot of other mini storms that try to pop up for me. But just being grounded in the fact that, like, okay, I can go to God about this too, and I can trust Him, and I know that it's not gonna be forever. And that was another thing I kept telling myself: this is temporary. When the voices came up, this is gonna be forever. This is temporary. My God did not put me here to suffer. He did not put me here to be in anxiety. He did not put me here to not reap what I've been sowing in all these different ways.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the God I serve. So if something is telling me that, it's not him. And that was the other thing. I went to verses and I started writing down, going back to my Catholic school girl days, like writing verses over and over again, like, oh no, I lack nothing. My God will provide all that I need. He is my comfort. He is my strength. He is my provide. Like, just writing verses, words, phrases over and over and over again to remind myself that this is a temporary situation. This is not the end all be all of my story. So
I love
whew,
that.
that's how God be doing the thing for me.
God is just so good.
It's so good.
And there's a few points that I want to pull from what you said.
Mhm.
And the first one is this is temporary.
It's temporary.
Y'all, it is temporary.
Mhm.
The storm will not last forever.
It
One
cannot last.
thing, like Shannon said, is she had to switch her mindset. She had to change her mindset. It starts there. It starts there.
Mhm.
This is not going to last forever.
Mhm.
Changing the way that I approach God. Hey, you know what? I used to pray for God, can you pay this content bill? But
Mhm.
God, can you help me with my finances? Can you help me how to handle my finances? Can you help
Yeah.
me learn how to budget? Can you help me with discipline so that I'm not just recklessly spending every time?
The discipline.
Changing
Yes.
the mindset, changing the questions, changing your verbiage is important because it is temporary. The
Yeah.
storm is not going to last forever. And this was a word from church today. God sometimes doesn't want you to ask the questions because He is telling you that you're the answer.
Mm.
You're asking me for the answers, but you are the answer.
You already have it.
You are doing what ears have not heard. You are doing what eyes have not seen. You are going to be the example.
Yep.
But until you realize that, I'm going to have to let you sit in the storm because I
Yeah.
need you to realize that you are going to be the one to come out of this and show people it's possible.
Yes. It's all a testimony point.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's all a testimony point. Like, it's just, like, a lot of us run from our testimonies.
yeah,
We don't want to share it because we don't want people to judge us. We don't want to look like what we've been through. We don't, like, all of these different things. But a lot of times, until you're able to, like, accept it and openly accept it, God will keep you there. And it's not to torture you. It's not to, like, make you feel bad about your circumstance, whatever it may be. But it's because the things, and we spoke about this on our basic chat, like, the things that we go through are not solely for us. And God wants us to reach back and share it with somebody, like, and not even reach back. Sometimes you reaching ahead of you to share
yeah,
with somebody, you reaching next to you to share with somebody. Like, because there is a freedom that comes from our testimonies, and we are able to help other people get free. And that's why we always have to constantly remember that Christ died for our freedom.
Yes.
We are already free, but a lot of times we get hemmed up in the things that are going on around us, that we get re-chained up, and it's not the way that God wants us to live. So when we come on something and we're able to share it, we're able to help someone else get free, and that's what it's all about. That's why we need to share our testimonies. That's why the devil doesn't want us to share what we're going through, and that's why when we go through storms, we keep it.
Yep.
Oh no, we're gonna keep it right here. We're gonna keep it right in here, right in here, right in here. Like, we're gonna keep it there because we don't want other people to see us less than anything that the standard that we feel like we want people to see us as. But that's why a lot of us struggle for so much longer than we need to.
And what
And
if
it's
your
not to say,
struggle is to help somebody else get out of theirs?
yeah. And it's like, we sometimes we suffer in things that we don't even need to suffer that long in.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that like God is always going to be like, oh, immediately as soon as you pray about it, oh yeah, it's over.
Right.
No, because there's a lesson to be learned. And we know that in this life, in this walk that we have, we're going to have trials. And like you said in the beginning, this is not to say that they will never come, because they're going to come. And I don't, as a sunshine rainbows person, I don't want to tell you that they're gonna come, but they're going to come. But we know that we have access to the source that not only created us, but created sometimes the circumstances that, like, the choices that we make as a person. He created me and I make a choice, and then it catalysts another choice and another person's thing or whatever. He created us.
Yes.
He knows these systems inside and out. He's seen them come, like, he's seen them develop, even the ones that he doesn't want to be developed. He sees them come up, so he knows how to handle it. He knows how to help us through it. He knows how to connect us to people and resources and all of the things that can help us through these circumstances. So it's like, that's why we have to share our testimonies. And my grandma's always like, each one teach one. You know that phrase, like the each one teach one. Like, that also applies to the kingdom.
Yes.
Each one teach one. So we don't have to suffer and be hemmed up in this one little space that the enemy done created for us. And we just suffering there for years and years. No, 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 no. I can help you get over that faster. Hey, that's sinking sand. Let me put this thing here so you don't even gotta go. I already went through there. I was stuck there about 5 months. Let me help you get over it in a week. Like, that's why we have to share, because it is a kingdom. We're working for the kingdom, and we need to be able to help our brothers and sisters so that we're able to stay under the mission of God and what He put us each here for, which is a collective mission, but it has individual phases.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. And you know,
Yeah.
so last week, right, I was led to start from the beginning, Genesis. I'm like, okay. So I was reading, right, and I'm like, wait a minute. He made the stars
Mhm.
to govern the day and the night.
Mhm.
He made the sun for the day, the moon
Mhm.
for the night, right? So I'm
Mhm.
like, wait a minute. He made the stars to govern the day and the night. The stars don't shine in the day. So I'm like, this is me. This is how I talk.
Yeah, right, 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 right. Yeah, like, what you talking
Hey Siri, do stars? Oh, she really listening.
about? She was like, "Hello." Oh, yes.
I'm like, do stars shine during the day? Like, because I'm like, no, they don't in my mind, right?
Right, right, right.
So the definition of obviously it showed me that yes, stars shine just as bright in the day
They
as
sure
they do
do.
at night, but they are made to show the difference between
Damn.
darkness and light.
Yeah.
But because of the sun and its bright reflection, it makes the stars invisible during the day, but they
Mhm.
shine bright at night, right?
Mhm.
So that my brain went so many different
First
ways.
of all, the science teacher in me is about to explode because I'm like, yes, it's science.
My brain went in so many
Yeah.
ways, but one of the things it spoke to me was, well, two things, but I'll start with this one, is that stars shine the brightest in the darkest
Yeah.
times.
Yep.
So when you're in those storms, that's God building your character. That's
Yep.
God building your strength. That's
Yeah.
God teaching you endurance so that
Mm-hmm.
you can shine in the light
Yeah.
and the darkness
In all times.
in all
Yeah.
times. In all times. Like he is building you up for where he's trying to take you, and
Yeah.
you may not see it with your natural eye because, like the sun, what he can do is so bright that to the natural eye it's invisible.
Yeah.
But when you're in those dark times, when you feel lonely, when you feel like I'm losing hope, I'm losing
Yeah.
faith, God, why? He's showing you in those times.
Yep.
And we don't lose, we learn. We never
Yeah.
lose. As believers, we never lose.
We
We always
learning.
and we learn. So
Yep.
in those times when you're questioning your faith, you're questioning your hope, you're asking him, God, why me? Why is this happening to
Yeah.
me? He is showing you that he is the rock.
Yeah.
When you hit rock bottom, he is the right. He's the rock. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna lift you up. But he has you in this storm because he's trying to take you to a place that you can't see with the natural eye.
Yep.
Have to pray for endurance. God, get me through this, but while I'm here, thank you for keeping
The character
building me
development.
to handle what you're about to bring to me. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we pray for things and we are not ready. When it comes, we're crumbling, we're melting. We're like, oh no, no, not yet, not yet. And it's like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. Yeah.
you prayed for this though.
You wanted this.
I'm going to build you up because where I'm taking you, you have to have strength. You have to have strong faith. You have to believe in me no matter what for where I'm taking you.
Yeah.
So in this time where it feels like it's uncomfortable, where it feels like it's a storm, where it feels like I'm punishing you, I need you to realize, my beautiful daughter, that I'm building you, that I'm helping
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
It feels uncomfortable, but you're about to feel real comfortable for where I'm taking
It's character development is such a that was another mind shift for me, right? Going through trials. I'm like, okay. Like I told people when I think about 2023 for me, with all of the transitional things that were happening for me, I feel like honestly from like 2021 to 2023, I was in a just like tons of transitions,
you. Yeah.
right? And transitions never stop. But I was just like, those are my, especially last year, my refining year, I called it. I'm like, see now, you was singing refiner all them times in 2016, 17, 18. You can talk about for God being a refiner, and your refining season hit you real hard. But
Mm-hmm.
to see it as character development is so important because, like you said, we always want to go to the next level. I want the next thing. I want the bigger thing. Oh Lord, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this. Whatever your motives for doing wanting to do those things are, you have to be cultivated for those spaces.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like you said, we get there and we're not ready to handle it because we weren't obedient.
Yep.
We didn't allow God to do the refining work in us. We tried to take the easy way out. Oh, I don't want to feel this pain. I don't want to feel this struggle. I don't want to whatever. So I'm going to take a shortcut route.
Yeah.
That's not even a shortcut.
It pushed
In the
me back.
long run, yeah, it wasn't even worth it. But that character, like if you look at those situations as character development, that's another mind shift that helps you so much.
Yeah.
Like, okay, God. And I remember even my best friend too was just like, I was praying for you last night. Something was going on. And she was like, I was praying for you last night. And I was just like, God, whatever it is that they need to learn from this experience, help them learn it. Like she was just like, it was out of a place of like, wanting us to be okay and everything. Like it was from a place of concern, but I was just like, wow, like for you to even pray that prayer for us,
Yes.
like before I even prayed it for myself,
Yeah.
for you to pray that prayer for me, like, hey, I just want her to get whatever. Like, you're clearly trying to teach something, Lord, and I just want her to get it. Like,
Yeah.
I want her to get it so that she could come out of it But it's just like when you pray those type of prayers, you see things so differently.
Yes.
Like, all right, this
Yes.
is something I need to learn. What do you need me to understand? What is something that's right in front of my eyes that I'm overlooking? Or what are the things that you have been revealing to me that I've been ignoring because either I don't want to deal with it or
Yeah.
it's too hard or whatever it is. But it's all for the next level and the next step. And obedience is a huge part of that. Because
Yes.
sometimes God will give us the out.
Yeah.
Sometimes He will give us the safety
Yep.
net.
Right
Sometimes,
there. And
and you're just like,
we're
like you just try to avoid it, and it's like it's right here, but you have to make a sacrifice and you have to be obedient.
yeah.
So it's like even for me in basic, God gave me the vision for basic. I think the New Year's Eve into 2021.
Mhm.
It is now 2024. And this is the most active y'all have ever seen basic. Okay. The most active y'all have ever seen basic. But even my pageant experience, like me not being able to do the pageant, when I was preparing for it, it was a revitalization of wanting to get basic where she needed to be, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this is gonna be the way that I do it. Like this is gonna encourage me to be obedient and to be consistent with basic because I'm doing it for this experience. But
Yes.
God was like, and now I take this away from you. Like, so now what you gonna do?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I told you this before too. One day in prayer, in quiet time, God showed me. It's like I'm laughing, but it was not funny to me in the moment at all. Um, God, I was sitting there and I saw like the vision that He gave me for basic, like where it's gonna go, or where I think I see for now where it's gonna go.
Mhm.
And the logo was like in the middle of this I don't even know what to call it, but it was like just a room or like some type of bright room, something. My logo was in the middle. Basics logo was in the middle. And it was like rotating. And I was like, oh, this is so nice. And that thing burned up and it was on fire. And I was like, what?
Right. Oh,
It was on fire. I was like, God, it's on fire. And then at first I'm like, all right, does this mean like it's lit? Like it's heat? I knew it wasn't lit. I knew exactly exactly what exactly what it meant. Okay, but I was just like, oh, let me change the narrative. Like it's lit. But he was like, listen, I told you to do something, and I told you to be obedient. And this thing is not connected to nothing else you got going on.
yeah.
This thing is its own foundational thing. And I need you to do it the way that I told you to do it and the way that I showed you to do it. Right. So when he showed me that, that message was so clear. Like, I gave you a thing to do, and if you don't do it, I will eliminate it.
Yeah.
Because I have the power to do that. I have the power to give and to take away.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, nope.
Let me get on it.
Hello, here's a real like something. Let me put something out because God is not playing with me. Okay, but I say that to say like that is those are those moments. Those are
Yeah.
those character developing, refining moments. We have to be obedient. Obedience is in there.
Yeah.
It's one of those read between the lines things, right? Because you could take what you're learning in those moments, but if you don't apply it, and if you don't move differently, and if you don't take the lessons that you prayed for him to reveal to you, what am I supposed to learn here? It means nothing.
Yeah.
And
It's
you're just gonna keep going through it.
it's true, and that reminds me, and it's this all full circle because literally April is when I started the Go Get Her podcast.
Sure.
Here,
April is a blooming month. It just makes sense. It's like spring, flowers, bloom. Like
it makes sense,
it makes sense.
and I'm like, wow, like last year this time, first of all, I didn't have no equipment, I have no lighting, no
Right.
nothing. But I said to myself, you know what? I'm not gonna hold back just because I don't have everything. I'm gonna learn as I
Yeah.
go. I'm gonna get things as I go. So I was recording
Yeah.
in my car, literally. recording in my car right before work or after
Yep.
work. Like, I'm like, you know what, God, you gave this to me. I'm not gonna say, I don't have everything I need, so I'm not gonna start that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start
Because you have it.
with what I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is my mouthpiece to be a vessel for Him. So we're on episode 28, like almost 30
Look at that.
to Go Get Her podcast. Like,
Look
and
at
I was
that.
like, if I would have said, nah, I don't have everything I need,
I don't got
you
it.
wouldn't even be here right now telling your
Hello. Yeah.
like, we have to trust Him, even if it doesn't look like how we want it to look.
Yeah.
Trust His plan. He gave it to
Hmm.
us for a reason.
Yeah.
Like He said to you, yeah, no, what you're doing, it's not attached to anything else. I
Not
gave this
attached.
to you for a specific purpose, for a specific reason. And if
Right.
you do it your way, you see that it's not lit. No, I'm burning it up and I'm taking it away.
He's like,
Like, literally, he was like to me, yeah, you're going to get everything. Everything's going to come, your equipment, whatever, it's going to come. And I was so stressed out, like, oh my God, I don't want to start without like being professional. He's like, professional? No, I just need you to build my kingdom by being exactly who I created you to be.
yes.
Go get them.
Go
Go
get
get
her.
the initial vision that I had with Go Get Her, and God downloaded this into me, and that was the day where I said, okay, yeah, that's it. I'm starting. I don't care if I don't have it. I don't know where I was, but it was a building. You know those like in the mall, like those glass elevators where you can
Oh
see.
yeah.
Right? So I was on the elevator. It was just me, and I was looking out, and I seen so many different women. It was
Yeah.
a place full of like just amazing, beautiful women. And I hit the button. It was one button. I hit the button, and I went up one floor, and like four women came in and got on the elevator. Right?
Mm.
We're not saying nothing to each other. I'm just
Yeah.
letting them in. Okay. Go to the next floor. More women come in. Okay. Cool. So we keep going, we keep going, we keep going. Still,
Mm.
nobody's saying nothing. In my mind, I'm just thinking, I'm just letting them in. I don't know where I'm,
Yeah.
but I'm just. So we get to the top floor, and a woman says, "Oh no, it looks too full. I'll
Mm.
just wait for the next one." And I said to her, I said, "No, baby, there's room for everybody. God,"
Mm.
and I let her in, and
Mm-hmm.
that was it. So to
Mm.
me, what I took from that is God is saying, there are women that I have assigned to you. And
And
each
don't
floor,
come.
each time I level you up, there's going to be more women.
Yep.
Each time you go up, there's going to be more women coming to you.
Yep.
And there's going to be some that are looking scary because it looks like it's too much. But you are going to be so strong. You are going to be so dedicated to this. You are going to know the full purpose of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell those women, the kingdom, there's no limit to building
Yeah.
the kingdom. So
Yeah.
it may look like, oh no, it's too much. I can't get up. No,
No, but there's space for
limit
you.
to this. There's space
Yeah.
for you. You are enough, and you matter. So come on,
Come on.
let's go.
Yep.
And
How
I think
that's such a beautiful like
it's
revelation.
distinctive that the last woman, it was just one. Like I said, each floor it was a whole bunch of people coming
Yeah.
on. So I don't know who that one is. He'll show
Yeah.
me. But it was just one girl. It was
Yeah.
floor, and it was just one girl. And she was like, "Oh no, it looks like it's too much. I'll get the next one." And I was like, "No,
Yeah.
come on, there's more than enough room."
Mm.
And that right there, I said, "Okay, God, I got it. I hear you loud and clear."
Yeah.
Regardless of if I don't have everything I need, or it's not how I want it to be right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it on my car, on my phone. Cool.
Yep.
And
Yep.
now look, it's been a year, and I've had multiple guests, and
Yeah.
people tell me like, your podcast really helps me, really inspires me.
Yeah.
And still, when I hear that, I'm just like, wow, like me?
Wow.
And God
Right.
reminds me, yes,
Yeah. You.
you.
Yep.
There's a
You're the
purpose.
one I chose. Yep.
So it just goes to
Wow.
show that when you're in those storms, He is building you for something greater.
Yep.
I've been in a lot of storms.
Yeah.
One huge storm of mine is that I was suicidal. I
Yeah.
used to say, God, why did you wake me up this morning? Like, I don't want to be here. Like, that is how I used to talk to Him. That's how I used to talk to Him. Like, why did you wake me up? Why did you even put it on the heart of my parents to create me? Like, those
Right.
things I was saying to Him.
Jesus.
Those are the things that I was saying to him. I did not want to be here. I see no light in the darkness. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I was just ready to like be over with. But if I didn't go through that, I couldn't minister or help people that's going through that now.
Yeah. Oh my
That's what
gosh.
it's like.
Oh, that made me so.
Just know.
Because like I see you now, and it's like again, 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 and I feel like this was a theme in both of these conversations. Like you don't know, like the things, the trials that people overcome to be the people who they are, and a lot of times those people who are reaching out to you to try to uplift you is because they've been through something that they wish someone would have uplifted them in that way, you know? And
Yes.
even you asking God that, like, I know he was just like, because there's more for you, because I have a plan for you, because you may not see it right now, but it is a substantial plan.
Yeah.
Like, look at the vision he gave you.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're going after these women, like, and you're going after yourself ultimately. And you come out of that dark place to
Yeah.
be the star. Like you were always the star, right? But like to be able to shine brightly, like that is just it's just like oh, I don't even have words for it. And the reason why I think it's also touching me so much is because an area that I feel like God is really calling me to look into when it comes to my girls is girls who are dealing with suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
And I even like literally journaled about this last night, like in my prayer journal. And I was just like, God, this is a heavy topic.
Heavy. It's so heavy.
And I will never have the perfect words. You know, like if someone called me, if one of my girls called me in that circumstance, like because you try to prepare yourself, like, okay, what would I say? What would I do? What would I and I know that it couldn't be me, like, it would have to be him
Yeah.
because it's such a heavy thing, and I feel like it's something that a lot of our girls and our women, especially in our community, deal with, and it shows up in so many different ways,
Yeah.
and it's like I said, even looking at you, like, now, it's just like you wouldn't think that. But it's because you've overcome things and you've got through your defining moments. You've turned that into those character building moments
Yeah.
that it's able to remind you day in and day out, like you're waking up for purpose.
Yeah.
Like you're waking up because God needs you to do the things that He's telling you to do, and no one else can do it like you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just, oh my God, it's so like, I'm just like,
It is
because
heavy. It's very.
that's the point. Like that's what he wants us to get with the things that he gives us. Like people run from obedience because it usually comes with a cost.
Yeah.
But there's such a reason. There's such a reason why we have to do the things that God is asking us to do. Because it's not about us.
Not at all.
Like it's not about us. And I'm just so thankful that he keeps waking you up every morning. That he keeps putting these things in your pathway to remind you like you're so necessary, not just to people in your intimate family and immediate circle, but like to this life. Like you said, like you started a year ago and look at how many people you've impacted, how many stories you've gotten to share, how many intimate stories of your own you've gotten to share, like, showcasing parts of your life, and those things really matter to the women who God has called you to. It really matters so much. So like, oh, God is so good. Like
It
I need a track in my house. I need to run. God, he's gotta go. Because
he really
I
is.
just think like even like do y'all understand, like hearing what London just said, like my heart is literally beating so fast right now because like for you to have that testimony and then be able to pour into these other women and girls who also have that testimony and like, hey, like I felt that way. But look, I know that my life has purpose. I know that God created me for a reason. I know that there's a mission that I have to do and be able to live and walk that each and every day. Like it's like I don't have the right words. And like I'm really in my brain like God, just like flow the words out, but there are no words for that. It's unexplainable. It
Yeah.
is it is meant to be experienced.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not meant to be explained. It's meant to be experienced.
I was just.
And I pray that someone who's watching this conversation and heard what you just said and like even the things that we've been talking about, like I just pray that it leads them to experience that for themselves, like, and not in a like, oh, I want to live the life that they live. I want to get the things that they got, or like, I want the reward that they reap. Like, no, I want you to experience God for yourself, so He can really show and illuminate like what you're here for.
Yeah.
And this is coming from someone who was a purpose chaser, like what is my purpose? I need to know my purpose. And I would talk to my mom about it. My mom would just be like, live life, girl. Like, just live your life. Like, it will come. And I'm like, no, I need to know my purpose. Therefore, like, and I, tell people my middle name is Nia, which means purpose in Swahili. Like,
Wow, I never knew that.
yes, my middle name literally means purpose. And
That's
I'm always like, I
beautiful.
can't have a name with purpose and not know my purpose. Like, doesn't make sense. Like, I need to know. And my mom would just be like, girl, just keep living. Just keep living. So the things that you think your purpose for today may not even be what it what you think it's supposed to be, right? It might be a stepping stone to something else that God has in store for you. Like you just keep living. Like, and that's what our lives are all about. It's just like you just live, take one day at a time, you be obedient. We make mistakes, we learn from the mistakes, we apply the lessons, and we just keep going. That's what it's all about.
That's literally what it is all about because every day is something different.
Yeah.
It's something new. We don't know what tomorrow looks like. Tomorrow
No.
is not promised.
Hello.
Tomorrow's not even promised. So what you're experiencing today, God allowed you to open your two eyes. That's a blessing within
A
itself.
blessing
And just seeing how my verbiage changed, right? God, why did you wake me up today? Thank you, God, for waking
for
me up.
waking me up.
Thank you
Yeah.
for waking up my children. Thank you, God, for waking up my partner. Like just seeing how it changed, our conversation
Amen.
has changed,
Yeah.
it just gives me hope that it's there's so much greater waiting for me. So even
Yes.
when I have those times where I'm like, ooh, I'm overstimulated, I'm stressed
Yeah.
out, things ain't looking the way I want. Even when I have those times, I trust him so much that I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna sweat it because I know you're gonna get me through it.
Yeah.
I know you're
Yep.
gonna get me through it. Like I trust you that much.
Yeah.
I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how this is gonna get paid. I don't know, but I know that you're gonna do it.
You're gonna do it.
I know that you're gonna change my attitude towards this.
Yep.
I know you're gonna help me with my heart posture towards people that don't deserve.
Okay. Okay.
That don't deserve.
Okay.
Because
I'll be like,
that's a struggle right there. But God is helping me because there's somebody in my
ooh,
life that tests me every single day.
mm,
They have a nasty mouth. They don't know how to talk to people. And sometimes I'll be wanting to check them, and God checks me, and He's like, "No, I set you apart.
yep.
You're different. You have to be the example. You have
Yeah.
to be the light in the darkness.
You have to.
So catch yourself. Don't
Ooh,
say
ooh.
nothing. Don't react. Don't feel away. Let
Yeah.
it roll off like water, because I'm handling it, and that's hard.
That is hard.
That's hard.
But I think my minister talked about that today. It was either today or yesterday, I was assisting in recording for a Bible study class, and I don't remember who said it, but one of them said, like, God made our adversaries too. Why do we feel so like they're removed from him? Because he's doing something I don't think is, I'm not agreeing with. I'm like, oh no, you can't be from the same God I'm from. Like, not acting like that. No way. Like, but like they are. Like, my adversaries are still God's children.
It's true.
And if no one knows how to handle them with love or otherwise, it's going to be him. And I have to leave it in his hands. And I have to trust that he will handle it, you know?
And you know what I'm learning too? Obviously, if it's somebody that you interact with, if it's somebody just like passing on the street, whatever, but somebody that you see every day, I'm learning to ask questions. Because, like, bro, why are you like this? Like, sometimes we have to ask questions to kind of get an understanding, like, okay,
Mm.
now I know what to pray for with you.
Yeah, that's the part.
Pray for you. Because you
That's the
really
part.
need healing in that area.
You need
And not
that.
saying I need healing in some areas, but now that I have a better understanding, okay, God, help her with this.
Yeah.
Help him with that.
And it changes you.
Yeah.
When you operate like that, it changes you. Like, there's someone, even at my job, that I used to just be like, I don't understand this person. Like, I don't understand why they think like this. I don't understand why they operate like this. I don't understand whatever, whatever. And when I changed my posture
Hmm.
to stop questioning why this person was the way that they were and to pray for that person,
Hmm.
I don't know what this person is going through at home. I don't know what this person deals with. I don't know the battles that this person may be having. I don't know, like, what this person may be lacking. Like,
Or how
I
they
would think
grew
about my
up,
own,
have a
right.
childhood,
I
anything.
don't know. I was like, I walk into work sometime and I'm coming through the door with like all these other things that I'm concerned about. But when I get here, I gotta tap into a different part of myself to show up for my kids, for my co-teacher, for whatever. Like, so I don't like thinking like think about yourself. Like, think about the things that you're walking into life with. Think
Yeah.
about the way that you're walking into spaces. And I was like, wow, how could I get so big to
Hmm.
not think that these people are also dealing with things, even though I may not like how they handle things, I may not like how they speak to me, I may not be a fan of it, but they're still a person that's also going through their own journey,
Yeah.
and they're also God's children.
Yeah.
So it changes you when you even handle it like that,
That's a part of
and
character building too.
it's a part of character building. It's a part of that maturing in the faith. Like, oh, like prayers for everything.
Yeah.
Even when what I'm praying for is not favorable to me,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's favorable to him because it's his.
Yeah. That
So
comes with maturity for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. Oh, this was such an amazing conversation.
It's so
Oh,
good.
too, because I feel like much more.
Like, listen, okay, more is coming. The
More.
Go Get Her, Basic, Shannon London collab, whatever it looks like, because it's just, yeah,
We
the
here.
Holy Spirit be
We
it
here.
be flowing, like, you know, like the kids.
Oh my gosh. But no, truly, thank you so much
Thank
for your time.
you.
Thank you for opening up, being transparent, because I know if not many, at least one
At least one.
was inspired to get to know God, to get closer to God, to
Yeah.
tap into who she is. She may be going through an identity crisis. Who am I?
Yeah.
What is my purpose? But like your
Yeah.
mom told you, live life,
Just live.
but also learn to build a relationship with God because
Yeah.
it will help strengthen your faith and He
Hmm.
will reveal to you what your purpose is.
And if the revelations come in the most unlikely of ways
Yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes they come during the storms.
Yep.
Sometimes they come during the storms. So just know that the storms, like Shannon said, are temporary, but pray for endurance while you're
Yeah.
in those storms. And
Yeah.
just know that you don't lose, you learn. Just know that it is going to be okay. You're
Yeah.
gonna make it out. And
Mhm.
sometimes it feels like a fire, right? But when you make it out of the fire, do you know what that shows about you? That you made it through a fire, that you didn't burn up, that you
Yeah.
came out stronger than when you went in. Do you
Yeah.
know what that says about you and about the
Oh,
God you serve?
so good.
Come on.
It's so
When you
good.
come out stronger than the way you went in, you know
Yeah.
that's you know
Yeah.
that's God. You know
And
that's
I feel like something else like I feel like really strong about saying right now, like led to say is a lot of times take inventory of your storms. Like, you know how they audit places to like kind of evaluate what's going on, like where the money going, who's coming in and out of these places. Really take inventory of your storms because
yes.
9 times out of 10, the area where you're being tested is where your greatest strength lies. It's the area that God needs you to elevate in, and it's the area that God needs you to operate and have authority in. So it's not a
Yes.
lot of times people be like, "Oh, I go through this again and again and again." It's a reason why you're going through this thing. Not only just because maybe you're not learning the lesson that you need to learn, but because there the enemy would not attack something so strong if it wasn't a power attached to it.
Hello.
He don't want nothing weak. He
No.
don't want the weak ones. He don't want your weaknesses. He wants the strong areas because attached to that is something great for God.
Yes.
So really take light of the like not take light, but really evaluate those areas and say, wow, I've recognized that I'm constantly being attacked in my mind. I'm constantly being attacked in my finances. I'm constantly being attacked in my physical body.
Yeah.
Like I know for me recently, I keep losing my voice. Like there's times that I'm losing my voice because I'm sick, but there's been recent times that I've been losing my voice and there's no other physical ailment happening. And one day I was just like, I'm so tired. Like I lost my voice, I think for like a week and like 2 days recently. And I
Wow.
was like, one day I was just like, devil, you can't have my voice.
Yeah. Yeah. For
I don't
sure.
know what's happening here
Mhm.
and I don't know where it's coming from, but you gotta go. You cannot have my voice. And I just like that's why I just felt led to say that too, because sometimes those areas where you're being attacked, there's a reason why you're being attacked. And
And what
God
did I
wants you to get it.
on when we were on your platform for basic? What did I say to you? I said, God cover her because the enemy is going to come at her even harder now that she's
Yeah.
starting her business. She's
Yeah.
starting up this for you. She's starting up the purpose.
Yeah.
God cover her.
Yeah.
He wants to take your voice because now he's like, oh wait a minute, you trying to have other women on too with you? You trying to
Right.
inspire people? You trying to
You
motivate people? Like you
trying
really
to
got this? Because I know God gave you this vision in 2021, but you wasn't doing nothing with it, so I was happy about that. But now
yeah.
you trying to do something? No.
Now you being strong. You being obedient. Oh, okay. No.
He's like, okay,
Yeah.
game time, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
definitely like for sure something that I would pray about for you for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, because he be trying it.
Oh, all the
He be
time.
trying, but
All the time.
already defeated. Already defeated. I,
Don't got time for it. Don't got time. Be like, say I ain't never spoke to somebody with so much authority in my life, but when it comes to him, I be like, get out of here.
right.
I don't even have the time to even deal with this. Please, get out of here.
Non-factor.
Don't come
Non-factor.
and distract me, please.
But is there anything that you want to say to the beautiful people that we have watching before we let you go? I'm gonna let you know
Gosh.
where they can find you, follow you, all those good
Oh
things.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. I just wanna just stamp and reiterate like storms do not last forever. If listen, I am a walking testimony of that. I have like London said, have been through so many different storms. They have so many different faces, names, just all the types of things, but they do not last forever. And sometimes, even if the outcome from a storm is not what we desire, because that's something else I started doing in the season too. Like, Lord, even if the outcome from this thing is not what I want,
Mhm.
I pray that you are still in the midst of it. And there's a reason why it had to be this other way.
Yeah.
So just like pray, let prayer be your strategy. Let prayer be your comfort. Let prayer be the thing that helps get you through. Like lay it all out. Be honest about it. Don't try to be like traditional about it. Don't try to be like, oh, let me just clean it up so it sounds good. No. Whatever it is that you're feeling, just lay that thing at the feet of the Lord. So he can truly come in and help you and provide the things that you need. And listen, I'm always open for a little prayer call. If you need me to send you, I'm quick to send somebody a voice note with a prayer. Like it's so necessary and to tap into community of people who you know who will go to God about you.
Yeah.
So if you want to follow me, listen, if you want a prayer or um you can follow me on Instagram. On Instagram, I'm at it's Shannon Nia, ITSSHANNONNIA. I know it's a lot of S's, it's a lot of N's. I know. But it's Shannon Nia. I'm on Instagram under that, and I'm also on TikTok and YouTube. And you can absolutely go follow Basic. Hello, because God is not playing with me. And please help me. Please help me to be consistent. Because when y'all follow and y'all come through, it reminds me like, okay, God, the community is coming and it's being knit together. So follow our Basic page. It is I am Basic, but Basic is not spelled in the traditional way of basic. So it is IAMBAISIC. And that's on Instagram and YouTube. TikTok might be coming soon. I've been saying that since 2021, so child, just just bear with me, but you can follow me on those pages, my Basic page or my It's Shannon Nia page, whatever way. And let's chat, let's kiki, let's talk about the things. You want to share a meme with me? I love a meme. Listen, I love a meme, so you can send me a meme, whatever it is.
You're so silly. You're so silly. And that's why I love her. Like, she is just a goofball, just like me.
Yo, it's life is just you just gotta enjoy life. Like
Like, we can't take nothing serious.
nothing. But we're the most serious people you will know, but we're not serious. Like just we're the most unserious serious people you'll know.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
We are passionate. We operate in excellence. We get things done, but we
Don't put us in
but
groups together.
yeah, yeah,
Because we don't
yeah.
like it. But
Oh man.
I truly love you. I adore
Love
you
you.
so much.
You're
Guys,
so
I got her
awesome.
information under this video, so make sure you follow her on Instagram, both her pages. You follow her on TikTok. You support and you subscribe to her YouTube. Let's all help one another build a community. Listen, woman empowerment is unmatched when we really, really do the work and show it for each other. So make sure you guys follow her and support her. And we just thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Bye.
Okay.
Great way to end it.
Okay.
Bye, guys.